What's going on, listeners? Welcome back to the Come On Man podcast, episode 5. We're here with a special guest, one of my favorite persons I like to be with my wife's stepfather, Mr. Lonnie Nichols. How you doing? How you feel?
Okay, how we doing?
um. I'll basically want to thank you for coming on the podcast and sharing your stories and
Okay.
everything. And basically, we just want to kind of dive in what it is to be a man or what men are dealing with in society today. And I know we have some topics here that we want to talk about. What about yeah? So like I said, what about the? I know you mentioned the. You mentioned the young generation or the young men who's in the working field basically don't want to work, but they want to work for a paycheck, and vice versa. I don't
Yeah.
know. You want to expand on that?
Well, yeah. When a young man comes to my organization, or really anyone's organization,
Let's see.
they have an interest of getting a job because they want to, they want to make some money, um, which is important when you're growing up anyway, is to get a job so you can get and provide some support for yourself or your family.
Mm-hmm.
So they come on board with a very more, I would say, a attitude of knowing that I gotta get my job or else, because my parents have told me that it's important to work.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have a girlfriend that say you can't take me out to eat unless you have some money. So
Yeah.
it's important to find a job so they can.
Make sure. Hold on. I didn't want to interrupt you. Just want to make sure there's make sure the microphone can hear you and stuff. I thought it would pick you up right there, but it's coming in and out right now. Let me see, just a little bit. Sorry. Try it again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay, like I said, the interest at the beginning is I got to find a job.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make some decent money, and I just need to go to work and do whatever my skills of labor is able for me to work at. Now, like I said, when they come on board with a positive attitude, with an interest of wanting to work
Mm-hmm.
and telling their boss or their interviewer, yes, I'm a good worker. I come to work on time. And whenever you need me, I'll be there.
Right.
And I'm one of your best quality of individuals that you can hire.
Right.
And so, in other words, they put on a very good interview show
Mm-hmm.
to get hired on.
Mm.
Okay, and then it's like once I guess I want to call it the acting is portrayed at the beginning, and they're convinced to be hired, and they're hired to get on board, and the interviewer or the boss or whoever's doing the hiring decide to hire the person who thinks it's a good quality person.
Right.
Okay. And I gotta give it to them. What they'll do when they come on board now, they will show a pretty good interest of their job skills or whatever they want to do and for the organization. They'll come to work on time like they're supposed to for a good week,
Mm-hmm.
two. The sad part about that though is after they've been there maybe for about a month, okay, and received a couple of paychecks,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Now it's get to the point to where they get comfortable
Mm.
in their work environment.
Okay.
So once they get comfortable, then they're trying to figure out a way to manipulate the system. In other words, for example, now that they're working, have a job, and know everybody. Now it's about at some point at their job, they're interested in calling in. That's what it first started.
Right.
It starts calling in, but if you notably, the call-ins usually don't take place until after probably the third paycheck.
Okay.
maybe the 4 paycheck. We talking about that about a month or so. All this started coming in. Because when they start getting, strangely enough, when they get a little taste of money built up, after they've been working there,
Right.
now they started to call in to indicate, some things happening with the family,
Right.
some issues they got to go take place, or better yet, the classic comes in
Right.
on a weekend, or they need to be working at the job.
Right. Do you know the reason behind that? Like why they get the job? Or what they do the interview? They get the job. They work for a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, and then once they figure out the environment, now they're like, okay, I'm in a good space. I'm making some good money. Now I'm a just cut the company man persona,
Yes.
and now I'm gonna just kind of just do my thing.
Right.
So what's the reason behind that? Like why do they cut it off?
What motivates them to get that?
No, you can say what motivates them like to do all that work at the beginning. Once they get inside the house or get inside the business or the job,
Yes.
then they just cut everything off.
It's all about, like I said, it's all about they know the game on how to sell themselves to the environment, mainly to any environment.
Right.
Because they let the employee or the interviewer know that they're the best thing going.
Right.
And the interviewer is convinced that, wow, I mean, they show it all. Good mannerism, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, it's not a good background, the whole 9 yards. They know exactly how to sell themselves to get that job.
Right.
And then once they are in the front door, though, and they, like I said, once they get place it and inside the environment where they work, they're proving that they can do the job.
Right.
Okay. Then all of a sudden, after about a month or two, they started to slack. Like I said, the slacking usually starts with the call-ins. They start calling in for reasonings, mostly that's not justifiable, but here's their way of testing to see if there's for example, if there's a game coming on or a concert that's in town, and they're scheduled to work. I can't come to work that day. I want to go to the game, or I want to go to the concert.
Right.
So it'll start with that. So they'll come up with some excuse that probably not even justifiable to get out of work. But the employer needs them. I really need this guy on this particular day.
Right.
He wants to call in. Well, golly, okay, well, all right then. Jeffrey, if you got to go ahead and take off, we go on and kind of like I said, their reason for taking off would be an excuse that sounds legitimate. I'm having my back's hurting. I feel nausea. I need to take some time off. Whatever.
Right.
But that's all up front to get off the work schedule. Okay. So when they realize they've done this a few times and got away with it, it gets worse as time goes on. Okay. Like I said, in some cases, you can almost tell when it's about to happen. And right now we have a season when it's about to take place that's going to really have their interest. Income tax. Yeah. When that income tax check come in, guess what? Get ready. They're going to be calling in.
Right.
They got some things they got to take care of or whatever. Or they got some excuses about it. They can't come to work. But you need them at work, especially during the season, depending on what the job is all about. For example, now I'm in the gasoline. I haul gasoline, and there's a great demand for gasoline. Consumer want that gas. They don't care. They don't care that it's a holiday. They don't care that something's going on elsewhere. But the consumer will always want gas. They're gonna want gas to go on vacations. They want gas to go to work. They want gas to leisure. Yes. Gas sales is going to sell around the clock, pretty much.
Right.
Okay. Well, those gas sales don't halt or don't take a pause because I want to call in. Okay. So when that customer said, "Hey, look, I need one of your guys to bring some gas out," and your guy done called in, that puts strain on the other person who has to come in.
Right.
Because that one person called in, that just hired a young guy, mainly he's young.
Yeah.
Okay. And you would think that, well, it's like I said, sometimes it's based on principles of how that person was raised. Okay, if you're raised in an environment, for example, to where everything was handed to you,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you got not much to worry about, you're going to assume that the community or the public or people owe you.
Mm.
Life ain't about what's being owed to you. Life is about what can you do, like John F. Kennedy said, what can you do for your country?
Right.
Instead of waiting back, instead of waiting back to see what your country can do for you, what can you do?
Right.
So, when you have this interest of wanting this job, once you get hired, your interest should be on such a high note that it's what you signed up for.
Right.
This is what you want to do.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you come to work every day as you're scheduled to.
Mm-hmm.
And without second guessing, just do what's needed to be done. That's your job.
Right. Does that kind of relate to, like, living and operating as being a man in today's society?
Absolutely. It's all about responsibility. You have to have a responsibility to be able to see when you get a job, for example. It's almost like a marriage. Okay, you're married to this job now,
Right.
really, and then you should be dedicated to your job. See, here's the thing. Let's for example. Okay, when you get hired, for example, when you hear the word, or they call you up at home and say, "Hey, guess what? It's the magic word.
Mm-hmm.
You got the job." What do you say? What's the first thing you say when you hear the words, "You got the job"?
I think, don't you start like cheering, like hooray?
Right. Exactly. You're excited. That's the greatest day of the world. All right, I got the job.
You telling everybody.
Yeah, I got a job. At first you was unemployed and didn't have a job. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
All right, I got the job. So you are excited day one,
Right.
or the day you find out you got that job.
True.
Well, here's the issue. With this job that you got now, you should be as happy as you are day one.
Right.
From the day they hired you, you should be happy throughout your venture.
But how do you? Isn't that kind of hard to stay happy at, like, the excitement and the happiness that you felt at day one? How do you maintain that throughout the longevity of your career working for this company?
Good question. First of all, what you want to do, you want to concentrate on the fact that you have a responsibility.
Okay.
You have a responsibility that one thing everybody has is bills. We all got bills.
Yeah, we do.
And them bills, when they're due, they want the people their money.
Yeah.
You have a job now. You're able to generate money now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as long as you generate money, as long as you are making money, you can pay your bills.
That is true.
Okay, so number one issue here is you should want to come to work because you got bills you got to pay.
That is true.
That should be a main motivator. Okay, so
I don't. Not to cut you off, Mr. Lonnie. I don't think that's, for some people in this generation right now in the work field, I don't think that's their motivation. I think they have other motivations, like how you say, like getting these fancy cars and going to the club and impressing these women. Oh, I got a job now. Now, like, look at my money and let's have sex now because I'm somebody now.
Well, yeah, but see, all that's important too. But see, in essence, if you stop and think about it, all that stuff that everything you just named, that's a bill too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that car purchase. You know, you want to keep that car up.
Right.
You know, them clothes you want to buy. You know, that's all that stuff. All that stuff takes money.
That does.
So your generating income is coming from the place where you said, "Great, I got the job. Now I can pay my bills."
Right.
Okay, so that attitude should be intact from the day that you got started to the day you decided to say, "I'm gonna make a change in life," or "I'm gonna retire," or whatever. You know, that job should be. You know, I'm gonna tell you what. I just thought about something. And I want to bring it out. I have a vehicle that belongs to the company.
Okay.
It's a truck, you know, all gas. All right, and I treat this vehicle as if it's mine.
Mm.
I'm happy that the company was able to give me a new truck and a new trailer, brand spanking new. Okay, so you know, I treat it like it's mine, because this is my way of making money.
Right.
Also, so if this equipment ain't working right, I can't do my job.
You can't make money.
Right. So I don't take advantage of the fact because my employer provided me a vehicle and something goes wrong with it, or that's on them. No, I'm personally dedicated to make sure that my vehicle is up to par. I do my pre-trips, I do my post-trips, okay? And whenever something breaks, something's wrong with it, I'm going to get it fixed immediately.
Okay.
Now, I got a lot of individuals that come to work with me, mainly young. They figure, well, if something breaks, well, it's on them. It's not, I'm just here to drive.
Right.
You can't have that attitude. You got to be, dedication is, okay, yeah, it breaks and the company's going to figure out a way to get it fixed, but at some point, you know, where's your motivation to make sure you get it fixed? So a lot of people, a lot of guys don't want to stick around and will take that piece of equipment to go get it fixed because they ain't making money. Right. But they're making money, but they're not making enough because they're only paying them by the hour.
Right.
Whereas if they deliver lower, they make more money. So why not just sit back and let them go ahead and handle that so when I come back to work tomorrow, it's ready to go. Okay. Then they get upset when they come to work and the vehicle ain't ready.
Right.
So they either want to do one or two things. They'll say, well, grab this truck, which probably has less issues or less, it's less desirable. That's the one that's been driving.
Right.
So they'll make it, I ain't driving that truck. I don't know. So they either you give me my truck or guess what, I'm going back home.
Right.
See, that's where the attitude starts right there. You think it's the company's fault because when your vehicle beginning to break, that they need to go get it fixed before you go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
But when you knew it was broken, why didn't you take the step to try to make sure that you could get it fixed?
Right.
Treat it like it's yours. The interest is not there because it's too much added to what they're supposed to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, so pure dedication towards your job is the interest of making sure that you can do this job, and they hire you for a good reason because you tell them how dedicated you were at the beginning. Well, you stay dedicated. You keep that flow going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why at some point take your job for granted? Then what's really sad though is they feel like they do the job so well at the beginning that the job is going to really need me, so they can't afford to really lose me.
Right.
So they're going to act that word out. They're going to act it out. Well, they're going to start telling the job what they ain't going to do. I ain't doing that. Well, they already know they're good at what they're doing.
Right.
But they're going to tell them what they're not doing because they figure you need me this bad. So, I suggest you just get your act together
and suck it up.
But the sad thing about that, see, these jobs though are smart enough to realize that when these individuals start doing this, they say, okay, you know what? I see what he's getting at. I see what he's trying to do to it. He's gonna do his job very well at the beginning, and then he's gonna find some reasoning not to do his job to get out of something. So we have to let him know or her know that you are an important factor here. Okay, but you can be replaced. And I've seen it happen to where when these individuals thought they were so smart to where they could just outsmart the employer by manipulating their position.
Mm-hmm.
And the employees already got a backup already. They done hired people already and said, "Look, don't tell you, don't come to work today." Or better yet, what the employer is smart to do is they'll find some mediocre technicality that you did and they let you go. You know,
That is true.
because the employer, guys, let me tell you, the employer is smart enough to have any rule, every rule in the book that can let loose an employee because of lack of interest or because they're not doing their job the proficient manner.
Right.
If you, for example, in my industry, you provide gallons. You provide gallons to take 5,000 gallons to a store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Now, in some cases, maybe there's a mix up at the back or whatever. But if you take less than 5,000, or if you take 10 gallons or 20 gallons more than 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
they can technically get rid of you because the other client, there's a sign that clearly states, take the store what they order. 5,000 gallons, they want the money, they want 5,000. They don't want $4.99. They want in other words, I mean, here's the thing. They're not going to get that nitpicky the way they want.
Right.
They're going to just let you go because you did that.
Right.
You know? But they could. They could easily find some technicality on you to get rid of you.
True.
Okay, here's how smart an employer is. A smart employer knows his good employees, and that's the person who comes to work like he's supposed to. That's the person who dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
That's the person who don't mind doing the extra. That's the person who don't mind coming in on his day off to do some extra. That person, when that person thought, or giving that person extra work to do. They don't mind doing it. They're still late. Yeah, that person who's purely dedicated to his job. Yeah. The employer sees that. So if that person messes up here and there, do something on a small thing, guess what? His job is still secure. Right. He ain't going nowhere.
So so with all that being said, how does that like being a good employee, being disciplined, showing up to work every day, and just being a good all around employee, how is that how is that relatable? Like, is that relatable to like to life, like as a man and stuff like that? Or I don't know what would be the question I'll be asking. Like, let's see, like how do you make that? Basically, I'm trying to say, how do you make that relatable in life, basically, as a man?
Well, like I said, what relates the whole matter in a nutshell is the fact that your interest in doing what needs to be done without being second guessed or without being told. That's basically what it is. Because once we become adults, okay, we are managers and leaders within ourselves. Also.
Right.
See, whether you know it or not, for example, even in a family, okay, you usually the man is considered the head of the household, but something else that a man is that people don't seem to understand is, or it doesn't matter if it's a man or not. It could be whoever's in charge of the household. Guess what? See, that person is a manager. See, everybody has managerial skills, okay? And when you manage your household, when you manage your bank account, when you manage your vehicle, when you manage your kids, see, you're in charge of your kids.
Right.
You're the manager. You're in charge. People will tell you all the time, I couldn't be no manager. That's not me. That's not my cup of tea. Yeah, well, okay, who's in charge at home? Huh? Who's working the areas? See, a manager, that's what all a manager does at work. He is in charge of the employer, the equipment. You know, he's the person that he's the go between person between you and the boss and the person who owns the place.
Right.
Okay, so it's important that you support your manager. Okay, but you support your manager by being your own internal manager within yourself. See, and that's what's good about being a driver, for example. See, there's nobody over you watching you doing your job. You're your own manager. Once you're in that truck, once you're behind that wheel, you're in charge. Okay?
Right.
And a lot of jobs are like that. They don't necessarily have somebody watching them all the time. Okay? And a lot of people are able to work in their environment a lot better when they're not being watched around the clock.
Okay.
Okay? But what can motivate a person to jump out of this jurisdiction, of what you were saying a while ago, is the fact of immaturity hasn't quite kicked in yet. What's it going to take for immaturity to kick in?
Right.
I'm sorry. What's it going to take for maturity to kick in? Because see, you can't be a kid forever. Okay.
No.
you at some point you have to be an adult and realize that you have a responsibility, and you're slacking off is not the key.
Right.
I understand people do get sick. People do have medical issues, so that could prevent them going. And that's exceptional because, and that's why my job apparently give us sick time.
Right.
So we're able to take some time off in case we do get sick. But they don't count against us. But we accumulate 6 days a year. Okay. So that's appropriate enough. So in case you do get sick, you can take some time off and you still have your job when you come back.
Right.
But most of us, what we do is we abuse that by taking off when we know we ain't sick. Okay, we abuse our sick time.
Right.
The boss is able to give you sick time. You use it when you need it.
Right.
If you don't need it, just let it continue to build up. But when you do get sick, it's there for you. That's why it's a tool that the manager uses to take care of his employees with. But like I said, a lot of young cats, abuse their sick time, use up all the sick time for issues that they're not sick with.
Right.
But they'll use it,
Is that when they need it, they don't have it because they used it up.
Because they use it all up at the same time. Then after they use all that up, then they want some more time to do some more stuff with it. And it's like, wow, this person, I just hired this person 6 months ago, and all of a sudden, they tell me what they ain't gonna do. They ain't showing up for work. They show up late, or I guess it's one thing to show up late. Like in Houston, they got bad traffic.
Yeah.
And that could be a good excuse, but to show up late, you call in and say, "Hey, look, I'm in traffic." All right. But it's one thing to call in and not show up at all. Just deliberately, I just don't feel like coming to work. I'm gonna just call in. I mean, yeah. Not to say, if you're coming to work 360 days out of a year, and you call in for 2 or 3 days out of that whole year, and that's probably not a big deal. But when you're driving, out of 360 days, you don't call in 50 times or 40 times or whatever. That's too much. Come on now, get real.
Hey, listeners, y'all listening? Y'all stop calling in to work and be a dedicated worker, because that's kind of the biggest things for men. Is we got to show up every day, even though, from job to life and to, relationships or whatever, everything that we do as men, we got to definitely show up every day, even though when we don't feel like it, even though if we're sick, like if you're sick and you feel like you're dying or whatever, then take a break and relax. But make sure you
Don't abuse it.
don't abuse it, but definitely show up and show out and make sure you do what you need to do and handle your responsibilities. So we're gonna move on to the next topic, Mr. Lonnie.
All right.
I don't know. Do you hear a ringing in your? Everything's good?
Yes.
I think it's just me. I think I have a ringer in my headphones or something.
Okay.
So what about the child support? The one let's get into child support. When it comes to child support, I know you said the ones who want to be on child support versus the ones who don't want to, who's running away from child support. What do you mean by that, or how do you expand on that?
Now we come back to the R word. It's called responsibility.
Okay.
Which is the same dedication we talk about with the job. Okay. Now you have brought life into the world. Okay. And one of the most precious things, blessings things we can have to bring in life. See, this new life that we've generated, that we brought into the world. If we have this clear understanding that one day, I can't be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever.
Right.
That goes to replacements right there. With life, I mean, really, it is what it is.
18 more years.
18 more years. Exactly what it is. That new individual that you brought into the world, that's your responsibility to train that individual to be in your world. Because it's going to be their world as soon as they reach. See, and so the basic foundation is you have to show responsibilities on your part that you're going to rear this child to the best of your ability. So sometimes, we get together with a girlfriend or with a spouse, and they'll bring your children to the world, and sometimes the relationship doesn't work out.
Right.
Okay. Well, you still have a child there that's relying on someone's authority to lead them into the right direction in this world. Now, granted for sure, mothers have their roles in raising children.
Mm-hmm.
Fathers have their roles. Okay, and that child needs to hear both sides. Okay, because that mother has that nurtured role, that loving role, that role that teaches that child how to be loving and cuddling and so forth. And mothers are like this. Mothers tend to give kids what they want, and that's great.
Right.
That's why Mother's Day, all mamas get everything. They get all the flowers, they get all the roses, they get everything.
Right.
Because moms are ideal, and moms are sensitive. But that father, and that's the guy that requires respect. And he's the one that puts the foot down. Okay, and he's the one that, let's face it, he's a protector.
Right.
Okay, now when he's not around, well, let me back it up again. Meaning he not only is a protector, he's the ultimate provider. That's what he's supposed to do, provide for the family. Okay, but when he breaks up with his spouse
mm-hmm.
or girlfriend or whatever, then he's no longer in the picture. Well, he still brought that life into this world. He's responsible for that life still. Now, some type of arrangement could have been made to where, you got visitation, or you got opportunity to raise a kid jointly with her and so forth. Mm-hmm. As long as y'all still get along while raising that kid, that's real ideal. But at the same time, man, that kid is gonna require some supplies.
Right.
And then a lot of stuff that, moms, if they try to get a job or whatever, they may not get a job that pays as well as what the fathers get. Okay. But still, responsibility comes on both parts. You have support on both ends where the mother and the father both have to support that child.
Right.
Okay. So if we're not taught, just like that job issue, if we're not taught that we have a responsibility to uphold this child that we brought in, mm-hmm. okay, we're going to assume that it's a responsibility that's on her because she broke up with me, so I'm going to start running as fast as I can. Now, that's the one good thing about moms. See, moms don't run. Most moms don't.
Right.
Put it that way. Most, out of 100 women, 95 of them ain't going to run. Maybe 5 of them might run, but 95 of them, they're not going to run from that kid. They're going to take care of that child. That's what women do. They're going to take care. They brought that child into the world. They're going to make sure that child is well taken care of. Take care of one way or the other. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, fathers don't realize that, they was the one that provided the sperm to fertilize the egg to create that child. That child really came from that father.
Right.
It determined the sex and everything else. Okay. But at the same time, though, that father still has, when just like they both had to get together to bring the child into the world, they both have a responsibility to ensure that the child is taken care of. Like I said, over a period of time, that child gonna need supplies. Okay, like I say, it's not, and that child support is important because if that kid wants to play football, run track, or if it's a girl, they might want to cheerlead, play volleyball, whatever. That stuff costs money. That stuff is not cheap.
Well, so what about like if the mother is not handling her responsibility, like you paying child support and she's using it for other things like going on trips and doing other things besides using that money for that child support, and you charge her up about it and you be like, hey, I'm paying you every week or every 2 weeks $200, $100 or how much you paying on child support. Where does this money go? Oh, don't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Blah, 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 blah. I take care of my money the way. And then you see her on social media or somewhere in the Bahamas using the child support money, and then like, what's going on with the child?
First of all, let's face it. Okay, when a breakup takes place, that's bitterness on both parts.
Yeah.
Okay, and in most cases, women who really hate to break up with the guy tries to find an avenue to search for in replacement of that guy who was there for her. See, especially if she had a good guy. She had a good guy who was there, went to work, providing good for the family and so forth. And all of a sudden they broke up for whatever reason. Well, the one thing she's going to miss about that relationship was what he used to do to take care of the family.
But what happened if that woman was giving that man hell for him to leave that relationship? Maybe if it was toxic or whatever. Like,
well, that's just it, though. See, all our relationships, just like a job, is challenging.
Yeah.
See, and our jobs isn't going to be 100%.
No.
100% pieces of cream every day. It's not going to be, oh man, can't we, you should have an attitude to want to go to work every day. True. Sometimes things just, especially when you're dealing with people, any kind of person you deal with, you're going to have some type of issues with it, with that person. Okay. Because, it's not like, it's almost inevitable that people are going to have mixed emotions or mixed feelings about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we all don't do or get a chance to have is a class called psychology, study of human behavior. If we studied humans and understand the concept of what humans go through, we could probably better deal with ourselves. Okay, but our bodies, if we're not taught this, our bodies has a mechanism that tells us what's good and what's bad.
Really?
Nobody. Hey, let's face it. We all like the good. Nobody likes the bad. No. Just like how many of us like to hear the word no versus yes?
A lot of.
We rather hear the word yes more than no. Don't say no to me. I don't want to hear no. No. I want to hear yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes is a positive remark. Okay. Well, when we don't understand the relationship behind the other person, we also don't understand the C word. The C word is called compromise. See, You can't please everybody, first of all, because everybody has an opinion about whatever. So since you can't please everybody, then you try to compromise. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's no way in the world you're going to, for example, to go out and say, I'm going to go and buy group of people. I'm gonna go get some pizza. A group of pizza. I'm gonna get one brand, one topping. Okay, you're not gonna have everybody interested in that one topping unless everybody in that room hadn't ate for about a month.
Okay.
Everybody's hungry. Everybody eat anything. They go, now we're hungry. We gotta eat anything now.
Yeah.
But when you're finicky, and you have several ways of eating pizza, some of us, I love meat lovers.
Oh yeah, everybody loves meat lovers.
Yes. Okay, because it's got everything there. Okay, but that one topping ain't gonna cut it with me.
No.
So no.
So what would happen, like the C word, compromise?
Compromise, yeah.
And you try to use that word compromise, and the other person you're with in the relationship abuses the word compromise. What happens then?
Well, now that person is trying to take control, take charge of the relationship. And a person like that, sometimes their background constitute them to be that way. They saw their mom take over from their father. They figure they can do the same thing in this relationship.
True.
See, that's why it's important that you try to understand the person's parents, wholeheartedly. Don't just marry somebody because they seem like because let's face it, we all do good interviews at the beginning, like we did at the job. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna be, I'm the best man you can be with. I'm the best woman you can be with too. I'll clean, I'll wash your dishes, I'll do everything for you. I'll bring your food to you when you're hungry. I'll take care when you're sick. The whole 9 yards. That's the greatest thing in the world. Everybody is great up front. Everybody, okay, until they get settled. Then once they get settled, then you see the real deal.
Now you see the true colors.
The true colors come out. So now what do we say most of the time? Oh man, what got myself into? Oh God, I didn't know the person was like this. So now you done got this person. You have children by this person, and now she wants to act like this.
Now now you locked in with this person. Now you got the true color of that person.
Right. Now that you know what you got, and then you got these kids too.
True.
But see, here's the bottom line though. See, we all even with all that going on said, we still as individuals, we want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. Okay? So now that you realize you have a problem with this individual, as a man, you shouldn't just walk away. You try to figure out a way to say, how can I compromise with this person to make things right? Because we got these kids. I don't really want to just walk away right now. As a man, you should try to figure out a way to try to bring that relationship together.
Right.
Talk to her. Try to get her on the level and say, look, I don't want to leave you. I don't think you really want to leave me, but you're doing some things right now that's causing some problems. We need to talk about them. See, if you can get her or him on a level to where you're concerned about everything, and what can we do to try to work with you with your changing behavior? Let's try to fix that as best we can. Now, here, granted for sure, you can keep doing this over and over and over until you're blue in the face. Because then you realize, man, no matter what you try to do, this person's not going to change. This is their standard behavior. It's just not going to change.
You can't train the old dog a new trick.
Exactly. So what happens is, what you have to accept at some point in your relationship is that now the relationship is growing apart. Okay, and you can't make this person change. No matter what you say, it's not. Better yet, it's not about making them change. It's about convincing them. Look, we're supposed to be in this together. We're a couple,
right?
Okay, we need to do something to make I think about our situation all the time. I'm concerned. We got kids, okay, but you're changing on me, and you're not the same person that I met, because of what you're going through.
Right.
Well, first thing she gonna say, or he gonna say, well, you're not the first person I met either. I understand that. We both change, okay? But do we still love each other? That's the key word. Do we still love each other? Do you still love me? Sometimes you have to put that person back in that mold swing and to wonder if they still love you.
Right.
Because if they love you too much, to me, if you love a person enough, you would say, okay, all right. Okay, he or she has a point. I'm not thinking. I'm just doing what I feel. Now, that's the difference also between men and women. And men have to understand this. See, men are thinkers. That's the first thing they do up front. They're going to think about what they do before they do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Women in most cases are doers. They do things based on emotions. Mm-hmm. See, that's why it's less likely that you can go out to your car and you get mad at your spouse. You're not gonna go out there and necessarily scratch your car up.
Right.
But you realize, why would I scratch up my own spouse's car? I got to pay for that eventually. It's gonna come out of my pocket.
Right.
That's not smart. But at the time when the woman gets mad at you,
she's scratching that thing up.
She ain't worried about. You know what? It's all about the fact that she's hurting, and she wants you to hurt too. And since you love this car or this truck so much,
You're gonna pay.
You're gonna pay through this truck
to repaint it.
Yeah. She don't care about what it costs at the time, but after everything is settled, and then you're like, oh man, I was so stupid. What was I thinking? Well, you was doing it based on emotions. Okay, you wasn't thinking about what was happening. You're doing it based on emotions.
Right.
So, as long as we understand this concept that men are thinkers, women are doers, or they're going to do things based on what they're feeling, okay, now we are able to understand human behavior just a little better.
Right.
Okay? So, those issues you were talking about earlier, when you first started the conversation, you were saying that, okay, what do you do when they start doing things out of whack? When they start doing things when they're supposed to be responsible for taking care of the kids or whatever. Okay, for example, when that support comes in, at $800, $900, whatever, $1,000 comes to support, okay, that woman at that point in time is thinking, okay, this came from him. We're not together. I really wish we were together. We're not. Believe it or not, remember, she's not thinking, emotions. I'm going to get my nails done.
Yeah.
I'm going to the movies.
Yeah.
She's going to do what she wants to do. See, here's the thing. See, we're not fully aware of this, but she don't got that support right. Even though that support's supposed to be taking care of her kid, she's still having problems because the relationship is no longer intact.
Right. And then especially if you actually moved on and get married.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Don't say that.
Then that's gonna make it 10 times worse.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Why? Because at that point in time, she feels someone else has stole her livelihood. Someone else has stole what once made her happy. Now he's making her happy. Oh, now she's really upset. It gets. I mean, you just said it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. Okay? It's hard for her to just walk away and realize there was a mistake made. Okay? And I guess you might want to ask yourself a question. Well, how many chances do you give her to tell and realize it's not going to work? How many chances do you give him and realize, oh, this is not going to work?
It's kind of like just beating a dead horse.
Well, yeah.
Even knowing that both parties know the relationship's not going to work anymore and it's not going anywhere, but they still trying to figure out how to make it work so they can stay together, knowing damn well it's not going to work. It's like y'all gotta separate. But the longer they stay in the relationship, the longer they trying to fit that one puzzle piece in that puzzle, and it doesn't fit because it's the wrong piece.
Yeah.
And it's like the longer you stay in a relationship or marriage or whatever, and you have to get out, it's like then that's when the problems happen. That's when the arguments happen.
Yeah.
That's when the abuse and all that other crazy stuff that happens along because you stayed in a relationship that was basically you stayed in a relationship that was you was ready to what's the word I forgot the word. I had it in my head now. You basically you stayed in a relationship longer than you should, if that makes sense.
Well, there's no time frame to be in a relationship.
But like the time frame to get out, knowing if you know it's bad and you know it's toxic.
Well, see, remember what was now? Let's go with a little review here. What's the main objective thing that's really, really, truly important to you as an individual?
It's really important to me
To be what?
to be married.
No.
Oh, to be a man,
No. It's off with the letter H.
healthy,
Happy.
Oh, damn! I'm thinking about everything else except me.
Yeah. But see, that's the bottom line. You want to be happy. See, when you met this person, that's what that person did. They made you happy.
Mm-hmm.
You made her happy. She made you happy. Okay, y'all was happy. That was one happy couple. You know, just. And I remember, back in my day when, give me an example. Before I got married, my spouse and she was very athletic. She was, she could really run. Had a scholarship for running, and then one thing of course, I'm in the sports, but not that far in the sports. At that time, I loved to play Pac-Man. That was the game. Pac-Man and there's another game called Space Invaders. That was hot back in the day. Well, I loved it, and she was with me. She loved it too. It was like we both were just up there having fun behind that machine. I said, I'm thinking about this is a great woman. She loves Pac-Man, and I love Pac-Man. We love Space Invaders. Oh, she's great. Oh, man.
She like playing video games.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were into it.
Mm-hmm.
Until we got married.
Uh-oh.
Until we have responsibilities. And I never veered from my responsibilities, but one thing I still love to do, I still love to play Pac-Man. Then she comes up one day and tell me, you're too old for that. You need to stop that. What? This is how we met.
Yeah.
You loved it back when we played it. What do you mean I'm too old for this? I ain't too old for this. We can still play. I can still play this.
Yeah.
No. You need to stop that. So now my clock starts to rewind to wonder, wait a minute. I'm wondering, were you just playing this because you're trying to get me? Why don't you still like to play Pac-Man? Because I love it. Something that you love doing. You don't really just give it up.
True.
Okay? Not overnight. Not after you get married. No. Okay, Pac-Man stops now. We stop now. I got you now.
Responsibility.
Well, responsibility. Back to that thing, that big R word.
Mm-hmm.
Back to a responsibility, like that job again.
Yeah.
I'm the greatest thing in the world. I'll be here on time. All of a sudden you stop doing what you said you're gonna do.
No, now you got a lazy worker.
Right. See, here's the thing. Okay, what's unusual about us as individuals? We know right from wrong. We ain't got to be really told that. Is it right for you to go into a store and grab an apple and walk out the door without paying for it? Is that really right? You have to be told that's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Okay. And the one thing that really gets me, nobody's ever told me that this is just not right. And that is when I see people get out in their cars,
Mm-hmm.
right, and they see they have trash in their car, and they're 5 steps from a trash can at a gas station, instead of them going 5 steps to the trash can to put their trash in the trash, they're going to take the trash out of their car and put it on the ground.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, here's the sad thing about this. See, and this is how my mind thinks. It's like, this person don't think we think, well, just a little trash. Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Well, who should care is everybody who, first of all, who's seen you do it, number one. Because here's the thing. That person that did this is what they don't think about. Wonder if everybody did what you just done. What if everybody that's on this earth did what you just done?
This earth will be filthy.
How much trash will be out there?
A shit ton.
Exactly. See, that's a place for trash. Trash go in the trash can.
And then it goes to the trash field.
Exactly. That's a process for it. Oh, well, you going to put it on the ground. I mean, see what I'm getting at?
No, I see what you're getting at, Mr. Lonnie.
Yeah. I mean, if everybody's putting trash on the ground, and it's like are you gonna say it's ideal now? No. Now you ready to talk about it. Now you ready to say, oh man, this place is filthy. But you started it.
Yeah.
Take responsibilities of the things you do, man. If you stop, if you know it, you already know it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Why take that chance? And why mess up a good thing?
That makes sense.
Yeah. See, so like I said, we all know pretty much the basic issues of what's right and what's wrong. Some things that we do in error is because of ignorance. It's because we didn't know. But the basic stuff of what's right, we already know. For example, what really gets me back in the day. We back in the day we could go into a club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was no sense. Nobody ever really walked in there with a weapon. Ain't nobody trying to kill nobody. But at the same time, when the person duke it out, they're gonna fight it out. They be out in the parking lot or whatever, and they through, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, you when you walk into an establishment with a weapon, what is it? Are you looking for trouble?
That's what it sounds like.
Wait, well, why do you have that weapon? I mean, is somebody gonna rob you in this establishment? Really? Do you really need a gun in this human establishment? Lots of people are here, and then are you really gonna shoot somebody? Now, understandably, there's some licensed carrying people who carry weapons and for protection, not protect the public. Okay, policemen, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're legalized. But for me as an individual, why am I going into a club with a gun? Okay, why am I going in an establishment with a gun, loaded? Well, what's my plan? Do I really plan to shoot somebody that day? Is that my plan?
Mm.
So like I said, and that's actually extreme. But what I'm getting at is basically that we basically know what's right and what's wrong. Okay, so. And since we know these things, okay, and we have to go back to the child support thing. So is it really right for you to just not pay child support and think it's just gonna go away one day?
No, it's just gonna build up, and you're gonna have back child support, and then you got the people coming to get you to throw you in the jail.
Right. See, now here's the thing: that they do all that in your future, it ain't by pure innocence. Is it innocent? Yeah. It ain't because you were ignorant, because you didn't know any better. You knew what you was doing was wrong by not providing support for that child. Okay, you're going to run until the child turns 18? And here's the thing about it. Today, before, they didn't used to follow you. Now, today, it follows you. Because once they put you on paper to say that you owe child support, and you call yourself on the skip out, okay, go ahead, keep skipping. And that money continues to build. Mm-hmm. And see, what I felt so proud about my child support is I felt good paying every time I paid because I knew my kids were being taken care of. Okay, I had a mother that took care of her kids. So the money got spent like it's supposed to be. Okay, so, and that's a good thing. So, my kids, what was funny was because you, all of us at some point in time are going to go through this when we least suspect. But like I said, my kids got the support, but there were times, like you said, when the mother would do what she wanted with the money and still take care of the kids with it. So one time it got me to hear the words from her. I said, well, my kids spending like $1,500 a month on child support. Oh, well, we were into some type of discussion, so I brought up the fact of what I was paying. She said, and the first thing she said was, "I ain't no money."
Wow.
What? $1,500 isn't? I mean, come on, it may not be the money now to somebody who makes lots more than that. But that back then,
right,
$1,500 was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, for one child.
Oh wow, Jesus,
it's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah. So then she told me, she had never tell me that, but that ain't no money. And then as the kids got older, they realized that that child support was gonna stop. So they were able to say, "Hey, Daddy, I noticed, I'm about to turn 18, and you won't have to pay child support anymore." I said, "You gonna be?" And the first thing they said was, "You gonna be happy, aren't you?"
Yeah, you're gonna be happy.
Yeah, I want to be happy.
You're gonna celebrate.
Exactly, because when the ex-wife tells you at one point that ain't no money, well, let me just check it out. See, if ain't no money. $1,500. That's a lot of money, though.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, ain't no money.
That's crazy.
Ain't no money when you ain't got it.
Man, this is a good conversation, Mr. Lonnie. I appreciate you being on the episode once again. We've been talking for an hour, so I think that's good enough. I like to give our guests the chance to give some positivity to the men in the generation. Any positive advice, positive feedback, or uplifting to continue to move forward as a man. Positivity. Do you have any
for the individuals who are doing?
Yeah, no, not doing not the child support or the job, just any type of advice, positivity wise, that you can give a young man or an adult to uplift them in today's society as a man.
No, first of all, let me go back to the young adults, okay, and especially if you're in school. You're in school, and there is a key element of a source that's going to talk to your group, your graduation group, and I noticed when I go to graduations, I notice a lot of those youth out there, young people out there, are not really paying attention to that speaker. Excuse me. That speaker at your graduation is always talking about your future. They're talking about the things you're going to be up against. Okay, that speaker has a lot of valuable information that you need to hear before you step across the platform to get your
diploma.
Yes. So, but I've seen many cases, but the kids just they probably throwing papers at each other, and they, oh, man, when's God gonna show up? I'm ready to get out of here. But I'm sitting up there, and I'm listening at the graduation class, being a little bit disruptive. But the speaker is speaking a lot of good information, telling them you're gonna be faced with water bills, light bills, gas bills. You're gonna be faced with crime. You're gonna be faced with heartbreaks. Everything in life, they pretty much covered it.
Right.
And these kids not listening, But, if you when you get ready to graduate, you listen to that speaker. That speaker's going to cover a lot of grounds that you're going to be going through in life. See, the one thing in life that we don't have is we don't have a class on how to deal with things that we're supposed to be doing every day. For example, there is no class on how to find the right woman. There's no class on how to find the right man. There's no class for that.
Mm-mm.
You know, it'd be nice if there was a class on how this is how you find the right woman, how to find the right man. Okay, see, first of all, the class that starts with that really is at home. You know, how you view your parents is pretty much a good idea how you're going to take care of your family. So if you have a set of family members that took care that had a father who was there taking care of, like, you know, I hate to bring this up, but the show Good Times, you know, Good Times gives me a complete image of what a family like growing up. Strong father image, mother very concerned. You know, when you watch these programs with these family types of environments that had that father there and that mother and the kids that following the rules and so forth, you know, chances are you're going to have a good growing up environment. Now nothing necessarily said you have to be, you know, in a single parent relationship to understand what that's all about. You can watch it right there on TV.
Right.
You know, there's another program I watched, you know, that I think is ideal. You know, you might think, well, he's just programmed. No, it's not just a program. You know, 2.5 Men. Watch it dearly. 2.5 Men has two guys there. A guy who's playing the role. Okay, then you have this other guy who just feeds in on him. His name is Alan. Okay, and then at the same time, they have this son. So what they do is they share responsibilities with the son, and also the son is passed on between the mom and the daughter.
Right.
I'm sorry, between the mom and the father. Okay, now notice how good a relationship they had. They didn't work. Their issues didn't work out as a couple, but look what they're doing as a couple to raise. He's still paying her child support. He's still paying her alimony. Okay, all right, and they're sharing custody of that kid. Okay, and they are cordial with each other to communicate on a positive level.
Okay.
That's ideal. That's ideal. So, you know, if you watch that program, it's a classic example saying that, they're saying, look, yeah, we can break up, but we can still get along and raise this child. Responsibility.
Right.
Responsibility. Now, same way with the job issue. Okay. All right. You know, give kudos to the individuals who get a job and and not job hop, because you know, when you're job hopping, that's not good. You know, job hopping is equivalent to being in a relationship. Okay, you can't keep this job because of whatever.
Right.
Guess what? I bet that same individual who can't keep their job and always job hopping, that's the same individual who can't stay in a relationship, committed relationship, because he's you know, things are changing in his life.
Right.
Okay? So, you know, the ideal is, you know, pick a subject, pick a job, pick a person, and just try to hang in there. You know, life is not easy. Okay.
Right.
Life is very challenging. Okay.
is.
But we can do what we can to try to make it right, just by, you know, just watching our environment, practicing. You know, and you know, I understand that you know, some of us say, "Oh man, this is just too much, But one day at a time, anything is possible.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that, Mr. Lonnie. We're going to have to cut it short. We had a good conversation, and the food came in and stuff. And play. Well, appreciate the listeners. We had a good conversation with Mr. Lonnie. He gave some wisdom from his experience of life. We just want to thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time. And if you made it this far, we appreciate you for listening, and hopefully just share this story with everybody that you. I don't know what's the. Hopefully you just share it. You just share it and make sure you. I don't know what's the word, huh? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to give out some positivity, but I'm making it complicated than what it really is. Basically, just share the love, share the peace, be there for one another, And if you got something from this episode, share it with somebody that needs to hear it. Until then, peace, love, and positivity, and herk out. Thank you.